Welcome everybody to number 9, where we're talking about emotional health and confidence. And for those of you that know me, I get really excited about supporting health by coming in and working also from the emotional standpoint in that aspect. So these 4, the series of 4, this being the second one, are some that I'm extremely excited about. So where do we start with this? And for me, I want to talk about the fundamentals of healing. And one of the fundamentals that people are not aware of is how much the body listens to what you say. And this is a book that is in my vast library of information that I have. And I've long taught this about the importance of words and what they mean. And this is a statement out of the book. It says, long ago, people realized the interconnectedness of mind, body, and spirit and its relationship to health for centuries. Notice that, guys. It says for centuries, it was taken for granted that people could die of grief, that unrequited love could cause a person to pine away, that fear could make one deathly afraid, or that anger could cause illness. So what does that, how does that end up looking? What it looks like is like this. This woman right here in this picture exemplifies for me a real life experience for myself. We have 6 children, and the kids, as they were growing up, especially when we got to this house where we live now, and we've lived in this house for 22 years, when I would come up the stairs, they would hide around the corner and they would jump out and they would scare me. And it worked. It scared me a lot. And I would literally grab my chest and I started telling them, stop, you're hurting my heart. And I just would use that terminology over and over again. And I finally realized that the more that I said that, the worse the pain became. And so I thought, okay, we have got to change the verbiage that I'm using because my body was listening to what I was saying. And so once I changed the verbiage, and I don't remember how I did it. Probably something like, please don't do that. That bothers me. But literally, it quit hurting so bad because it was getting worse and worse with every time it happened. And that point, I really became aware of how powerful our words are. I had another incident with my left leg. The only surgery I've ever had, I had on had an ACL graft put into my left knee. And once I started recovering, it was very common. I was listening to other people say it, and I realized I was referring to it as I had a good knee and a bad knee. And instead of my knee getting better, it actually started getting worse. And once I changed it to the knee that had surgery on it, then it got better. And literally, my knees are equal in how they play out and support me right now. So verbiage is so important. There's some great reference in The Power of Words by Masaru Emoto. And what he did is he took some water and he would take it and he would, like in this first side here, talks about he would tell words, I love you, you're doing a great job, phenomenal, outstanding. And then he would take that water, and at that point of freezing, he would see these beautiful crystals that would come out, and he would take photographs of it. So then what he would do is he would let that water thaw, and he would change that very same water to giving it words of hate or anger, or like, I don't like you, or you're a failure, you fool. And that very same water, notice the difference in the structure. The power of words is huge. Now, when we take that and we relate that to our trees, our foundations of health that we've been looking at, you can see the beautiful crystal over here for the love and everything. Look and think about those type of words going into who you are emotionally, spiritually, and physically as a person. Why wouldn't you blossom and grow and thrive? Whereas the person or the individual or the plant that is hearing all these words of disgust or hate or anger, you see a tree that ends up not thriving. It doesn't have a good foundation. It doesn't believe in itself. So the power of words is just huge. So where are we going with this? So I want to talk about one of my other favorite books you guys have seen me reference, and I want to talk about a couple different words. Homeostasis. You guys have heard this from me. And what it specifically references is the body's need to maintain a steady state. For example, our body knows that it needs to keep its core temperature at a certain number, the blood pressure at ideal certain numbers, the electrolyte balance is always working towards that, oxygen to the brain. So that is what homeostasis is, balance, the ideal steady internal state. But then we also have a word called allostasis. So what this is the body's ability to achieve stability through change. For instance, so if we go into extreme heat or cold, then the body adapts to that. Or we get infection, physical trauma, psychological and emotional threats, kind of like what Troy went through. All of a sudden, it was more, the body needed to do more than just to maintain that basic internal state. It had to go to the extremes to get the help and balance that it needed to recover. So the importance and why I want to bring this up is exactly with what we're dealing with in everyday today. And this is a statement direct from the book. It says, over time, the allostatic load can accumulate. Otherwise, our effects and results of stress are cumulative. The overexposure to stress can have adverse effects on your various organs, which are going to lead to states of dis-ease or overload. Consequently, the ongoing state of fear that we are dealing with in society and culture right now, that we've been dealing with since the middle of March, doesn't matter what the belief system is at this point for you. What I'm looking at is your body dealing with having to bounce back and recover from this. This is creating a cumulative stress load. Hence the importance of having the adaptogens, which we know that Solle is renowned for. It is the signature that is product or plants that are in all their products. And I just want to make certain people understood. When we are dealing with extremes like we are right now, we need more than being able to go back to balance. We really need the ability to, and I don't like this term because they're out there saying the new normal, but we have to be able to deal with our body still being able to be responsive regardless of what is being thrown at it. So, what we're going to talk about now is Greg Halliday, the founder and president of Soul Naturals, is actually going to get in and talk about some of the specific essential oils that make up the Confidence Compass blend. So what I'm going to do here is find where there's Greg, and make him a co-host here so that he can get in and do some screen share with us. So nice to have you, Greg, here.
Nice to be here. So I felt something special happened right when you did that. I don't know what that is. It's just that co-host feeling, Valerie. But let me share a screen. I just have 2 slides. But I love listening to everything you said, learning from you. Such a message. Oh man, I'm sitting here thinking I wish someone in every house could just listen to that for 5 minutes. Just think about it. Because there's some really easy solutions to make life a lot better. So I'm thinking about confidence. This blend, it's fairly new. And boy, if we didn't already respect Jennifer Pressimone and everything she did in putting these together, then she adds these 4 new Compass blends, and I've got my confidence right here. I put on a little bit before this, because it doesn't matter how many times, I just want to be, I'm weird. Valerie, why do I like this on the back of my neck? Explain that to me. I love it there. Someone told me once, and I put it there every time, a little bit on the chest, a little bit right at the back of my neck.
There's definitely multiple reasons. And in fact, yeah, we'll talk about some of this. So you're spot on. Thanks for bringing that up.
Okay. No, I actually don't know. Someone told me and I just obeyed. So confidence. I love this because it feels like it's made for right now, doesn't it? It's kind of for always. It's useful for always, but it feels like it's for right now because as we've talked about before, you have these 4: balance, calm, lift, and clarify, multiple essential oils, pure, undiluted. They're amazing. They're wonderful. And you can do so much blending them together, using them separate, diffusing them, and all the ways that people use them. And then Jennifer put together these Compass blends that are roll-ons. And one of the reasons that she did it and that we were so excited about it was she wanted to add a couple of essential oils that she felt were I'm trying to think of the words, the exact words she used, but I'll just say it the way I understood it, okay? These are essentially those that we really need right now, that are needed right now in the world, that, and in these blends that are already amazing, she wanted to add on to them for her own personal reasons in the way she deals with people with oils and what she's seeing and what she, I think she is very intuitive, what she's feeling are the needs. So she added eucalyptus to clarify, and she added lemon. You have these two great oils that are not in the clarify blend, but they are in confidence. And then confidence is if you look at the bottom of these slides, I love the way she put them. It's really a combination of clarify, the yellow on the bottom of the page here, and you see the blue, the other part. Those are roughly the proportions in the formula of the oils. You have about this much of the clarify and about this much of the calm, but they aren't just the clarify and calm. They're with these additional oils added as well. So it's clarify plus, calm plus is kind of the way she did this. So you can see she added to the calm ginger. And so these are the three oils that you won't find if you just mix together clarify and calm. But if you use the pre-blended ready-to-use confidence, you've got those. And so I like to look at the emotional words, because I know sometimes we talk about the physical changes. They can do lots for the body. But I always look for her words like, okay, eucalyptus is stimulating. Strength when overwhelmed. And she's specifically talking about lungs, but she's talking about the emotions and mood too. Strength when feeling overwhelmed. A lot of that around right now. I don't know about you. There are always times, if you stay out there long enough, that we all feel it. And so hence the confidence, right? It's just the perfect thing. In terms of the calm and adding ginger, butterflies in the belly. Anybody feel more of that lately? Worry, more of that. Okay, unfortunately, like Valerie, oh, that just makes me sad that there's so much more of that, because it's not that we think we're indestructible as humans, but we know the value of what verbiage and of what our thoughts are, what our words are, and what a difference it makes. It really should be optimism and hope in spite of. You know why? I'll tell you why, because you're all here. You're all helping people. That's why I feel it, because I know you're sharing it. You're not just keeping it to yourself. I'm trying to do the same thing. We're doing our part. Lots of great stuff happening down at Blake's at our warehouse, and how Soul is positioning itself for what we see coming. And it takes a commitment, but it's really, really, it's just hopeful. It's something that elevates our look for the future and gives me, peace, confidence, and something I wish that we could bring to others. Confidence to me is all the time on the desk. Take it with you. I just have to keep it on the desk too, because I spend a lot of time at the desk. So anyway, Val, I'll turn it to you, because that's a little bit of what else is in it and a little bit of what I feel about it. But I'm sure glad we have it, because I think it's something that is particularly needed.
Oh, there we go. Okay. So like Greg was saying, and this is actually perfect that you were referencing this, there's so many different uses actually for confidence. So I want you to think about the name. Jennifer is amazing in how she named these. And at some point, I want to actually get into some of her background in how she is very unique in her skill set and her training, which she brings some very special abilities to the table with how she has blended these. And she truly understands at a spiritual and emotional aspect how these oils affect. So when we put these like at the base of the neck, there is a, part of the nerve bundles that go up into the whole brain and then also control the entire body, all emanates and passes through that area. So it's a very powerful area to give the body confidence in following through and making the connections. You can see that it's talking about using it for migraines. We've had people that have been use this on the temples. We've used it quite a bit with Troy for actually more of a prevention and being proactively, because they told us that he would have quite a bit of neuropathy, and we really have not hardly gone through any of that. And I'm sure the neuro-IM has played a major role with that, but I know the confidence has as well. We're looking at mentally, talking about concentration, inspiration, motivation, self-assurance. I know that one of our people who could not be on tonight, she had told me that before, and it's Chris Hedrick, you guys all know her, says typically when she needs to complete something or walk into something new, she will put it on her liver and behind both ears, because it seems to calm the anxiety of that moment. So I just thought that was perfect. So remember, we can put it over the area if we know the areas are bothering us, but the body is brilliantly designed. It knows exactly what to do with it when we give it to it. So we don't have to have it perfect. So, I just tell people, just trust your gut instinct and know that the body knows how to heal. So when we come into our disease tree, I wanted to show you how that confidence compass blend plays such a huge role. Down here, when we look at the foundation, how could confidence not help these areas? If we're dealing with physical trauma, think about being confident to move forward, confident to be able to heal, confident to do the change that are necessary. In fact, I have over here to the side kind of an affirmation that Jennifer says, and she talks about opening up that confidence blend and just smelling it 3 times and saying, I am confident in my abilities and capabilities. I can do anything. So think about that with the physical trauma. Think about that with mental and emotional stress. Think about that with just getting up and dealing with the day right now. And remember, when we're coming in and supporting that foundation so well, then the tree can blossom better. There's also something called cell memory. Our cells remember everything that has ever happened to it, good, bad, or indifferent, doesn't matter. So if as the body is working through some things, maybe we're dealing with something, we're like, man, I don't know why this is bothering me. We don't have to know. Our body knows. But if we feel like, wow, I could just use a little more boost of confidence to deal with this, reach out and grab your confidence compass blend, and when in doubt, put it on the bottoms of your feet. And again, help that body to work through the past. And remember, the past does not have to define your future anymore when we start giving it the tools that it needs. So I've asked Krista Shepard to share a testimony for us for our Solle Speaks. So Krista, if you would unmute yourself, we would love to hear about how you have used the confidence compass blend.
Thank you so much, Valerie, for asking me to speak. It's always an honor. Hey, Greg, I see you waving there. Greg, great minds think alike, because ironically, I had to run to my car to grab this. We did some hiking on the weekend. Doubles as bug repellent. So there you go. So my story, though, with confidence, when I first knew how amazing and how powerful it was, we hadn't had them very long, like maybe within a month, and I was told I needed a root canal. And those that know me well know I do not like the dentist. I have complete anxiety when it comes to the dentist. I had several bad experiences as a teenager where I couldn't eat for like a week after the dentist because they did damage in my mouth. So you tell me I have to have a root canal for the first time in my life, and I was not happy. So because we are blessed at Solle, I actually sent Jennifer a message because the oils were so new, and I'm like, help, right? What do I do? She said, you need some confidence because you got this, right? And she did. I did use the courage as well because I didn't have a lot of that day going in there. But I took this, I put it on my wrists, I put it by my ears, I put it on my chest, to the point that when I got to the dentist, they're all like, you smell amazing. But and I could just gently, even when they were doing work, I could just, they were still working. I could get my arm up enough to smell it, take a deep breath, and I got through it, no problem. I was shocked. It was like my best dental experience ever, to the point that now I know that no matter what they tell me from now on, I'm going to be fine. So The fact, I mean, I love what Greg said. The fact that we have Jennifer, that she created these has been a game changer, because her knowledge is just, and we just get the blessing, right? Like, we just get to know, like, I'm with you, Greg. There's lots of this I don't know, right? But I know it works because we have the best people formulating all of our products. So, and I did put a little on before I spoke this evening too, Greg. So cheers to that. So yeah, so that's my nice little confidence story.
That's perfect, Krista. I love it. I, like you, do not enjoy having to go to the dentist, and the oil blends are a game changer, even just to walk in that door. Because the
Right?
last thing you want to do is be stuck in a stress response when you've got something like that going on, because all we know, all it's going to do is escalate, and those oils are like instant. And I love
Yeah.
how you were sweeping your arm up, wrist up past us so you could smell right then and there.
Well, I'm like you then, Valerie, because I go in and the dentist's office has a very distinct smell, right? And so as soon as I
Yep.
walk through the doors, it's like, I know I do it. And now I don't, because the Soul blends overpower the smell at the dental office. So
Perfect. And you just gave a perfect example for both of us about cell memory. We both have had bad experiences. So our body remembers at that cellular level that, and so it goes into a protective response. So that confidence and courage combined are exactly what you need. Thank you, dear. I appreciate that.
no problem.
All right. So now we're getting excited, and we have Miss Lisa McGinnis is going to share with us her experience with confidence and how she has used the Confidence Compass blend. Welcome to our little group here, Lisa.
Hi, everybody. My story with the confidence blend is I've had to do a lot of work in my life to have the confidence to speak. And I put the confidence on my throat, and it's enabled me to be able to communicate to others so much more easier. And it just gave me the courage and helped me find my words and stand in my truth.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
And if I remember, you've been able to have some life-changing conversations as a result too.
I have. There are a couple of people in my life that we went through some very big things, and we were able to share at a very deep level, and it was very profound for everybody involved. And I couldn't have done it without the confidence blend.
Oh,
It's
wonderful.
been amazing.
Wonderful.
And I like to wear it on my throat.
Excellent. I love it. And I so appreciate, Lisa, you sharing this, because you know, the two of us and a lot of us here run into a lot of people that have lost their voice to speak up for themselves in life. And confidence doesn't mean that everything you have to say is perfect or spot on. It just means that you have a platform and you feel grounded and you can share what you think without feeling vulnerable. And that is very powerful.
Absolutely. And it also helps me stay focused and present in that moment.
Excellent.
Instead of, having that fight or flight moment.
Yep.
It gives me the courage to stay right there. So it's courage too.
Perfect. Thank you, dear. Oh,
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, as you guys know, we talk a lot as our foundation using the Bella Health Package, which where does this come and support us with, with our emotional health? Way that this does this is it's going to come in and it's going to help us with the adaptogens to deal with, we talked about dealing with the stress, the overwhelm, whether we're dealing with anxiety or depression, the Verdezymes having to do with assimilate and breaking down our food. And think about when you're stressed or emotional, we either don't eat or what we eat, we can't break down. Cinemate, how many times do we turn to stress eating whenever we're dealing with emotional issues? Or we end up with just energy crashes, and we can't deal with stuff and move forward further into this. So the cinematic becomes very powerful, and the probio IQ, because, you know, we have just found it to be kind of helpful to be able to think when we're dealing with all this. So this morning when I was thinking about the compass blends, and there's 4 of them, I realized what we have at our fingertips is an emotional emergency kit. And I literally keep a set of 4 in my purse, a set of 4 in on the bar at the house, another set of 4 as backup, and a set of 4 in the vehicles. I just think it's so important because you never know what you're going to deal with. So in life, and that's why I like, and I probably am going to stick with that. I just think the emotional emergency kit is spot on and a great way to reference this. And when we're coming in and we've got these keys, elements to help us to deal with and process what we're up against with the cell memory, with an unexpected situation. And so far we've talked about the courage and the confidence. So when we're needing that moment where maybe I need a little courage to walk into the dentist's office, and then confidence that I'm going to have a better experience this time, I can just reach right there and use it. It's there. I don't have to worry. And just like our emergency kits when our kids were growing up, you know, my kids always knew that, you know, I always had the certain plant combinations with me, just like it right there with the Band-Aids, right there with the, you know, the gauze, and with 6 kids, you know, there was inevitable lots of mishaps. So we always had different things, but this is right there in my emergency kits that I carry around now. We're getting ready to get together with all the grandkids. Trust me, this will be with me as we have 12 grandkids. So this kind of ties in with what I was saying with Lisa, and I love this quote. You know, confidence comes not from always being right, but from not fearing to be wrong. And so when I think about that when it comes to healing, it's the confidence to voice what we feel, the confidence to make that step to deal with the changes or the lifestyle changes. Maybe you're dealing with trying to or working on giving up sugar, having confidence that you're making that step and that you can do it and you can make it through it that day. That confidence that, you know what, today I'm going to get out and I'm going to walk that 3 miles. The confidence that I will be successful. And it was kind of spot on with what Lon was talking about this morning with being optimistic. To me, confidence also pairs very well with being optimistic. When I'm confident, I just expect it to turn out okay, regardless of what's going on. I have the trust to take the next step. And you know what? If I get a new set of circumstances, I can pivot and change. I'm not stuck with that, but I have the confidence that I can continue to move forward. So next week, we will be focusing on the 3rd compass blend, which is the comfort blend. And we'll be talking about how that part of your emotional emergency kit, what ways that can be used. And a lot of people have really been using this one. So this one, I think, is definitely going to be a must-see as well. So with that, I'm wondering, does anybody else have any tidbits or anything else that they'd like to share? We've got a great group on here. I'd love to hear if you have any other thoughts. Go for it, Greg.
I don't want to hog the first spot, but Valerie always makes a light bulb turn on in my head. And you made another one turn on today. I don't remember what you said. It was in this last little part, but I think that one of the real benefits of confidence can be that we know our body can find its balance. Because since we do it at different speeds, we all see people where they'll do something and like it snaps them right back in. And maybe in our situation or similar situation, it doesn't happen that way. But we have to know, and I can validate that. I know Val can, I know Tammy can, and Krista, and many of you can validate. We see people do it at different speeds, and we ourselves at different times of life will find that balance at different speeds. But just know that it will. The body can. It always can. We find what it needs. We listen to it, and that's part of, to me, confidence is. I believe that oil blend, because of what it opens up for you, can help in that process. So anyway, you just made me think about that.
Oh, well, great. Well, and I was remembering too, and that one of the things I was doing multiple times throughout the day, sometimes hourly, as we worked through all this with Joy was I would take the confidence and I would put it on the lower part of my back. It was like the confidence that we would get through this, the confidence that our life was not going to crumble, that we, you know, you needed that extra boost, and that was critical for moving forward and through this. So there wasn't a day that I wasn't grateful for having those blends sitting right there because they would remind me to use them. Anybody else have anything? I'd love to hear different ways you guys have used stuff. I see Gretchen's got up here. She says confidence is her favorite. Yes, like people who like going to the dentist. I have not gotten used to that one. Anybody else?
Valerie, I have something. Can you hear me?
Oh yes, please, Olga, go ahead.
I had a pain. It was my sciatic nerve that was hurting, and I rolled it was just before I went to bed, and I rolled that over my back and my leg, and it immediately, within, I don't know, 5 minutes, it went away. But I had it by my nightstand, and that night I woke up in a panic attack. And the only thing that was there was my comfort blend. So I went ahead and just applied it on my temples, on my chest, and then I fell back to sleep, and it just like went away completely. So I was so shocked. But you know how you wake up and you're like half asleep, and that's all I had. So I rolled that, and it was perfect. So now I just keep it there all the time.
That is perfect, perfect use of that, and I love it. And I've kind of gotten to the point where I'm like, you know what? The comfort was there, then I just trust the comfort is what I needed, and so I would just reach it and I would use it. So that was perfect, Olga. I'm so excited that worked so well for you.
Can I say something?
Please do, my dear.
Okay. I just wanted to say, I also try to keep an extra set of the Compass blends, and the confidence is the only one I won't give away as a gift. I'll give away all the other three as gifts if I feel compelled to with a friend or somebody that's going through something, but I never give away my confidence blend. That one is sacred to me. So when you were talking about the confidence blend, I was like, yeah, it's my favorite. It really is my favorite. So that's all I wanted to say. That one is too good to give away as a gift. I'm selfish with that one.
That's so exciting. Well, you know what's neat is I bet if you watch over time, that it'll start to change. And initially, contentment was what I was drawn to all the time, and then it shifted to the confidence, and then it was a little bit of, I thought, oh wow, I kind of like the comfort. So, but each one that I was focusing on that time, yeah, I wasn't going to give that one away because that one I knew needed to stay with me. So that's awesome. Anybody else have anything to share or experiences with any of the blends?
If I truthfully tell you this, you know, I always have something. I use all 4 blends, and over the last year, it would not, if it hadn't been for these blends, I would have not made it through BNI. I'm not joking.
Isn't it amazing the difference it makes?
Confidence, comfort over the heart, contentment on the back of the neck. I had all 4 rolled on. It was hard for me to do, to go to new meetings and deal with people this last year. It's better now, but I'm telling you, those things are the bomb.
So truly an emotional emergency kit. Wonderful stories. Anybody else have anything to share? I love learning from other people's experiences. If not, wonderful, guys. Thank you again, everyone, for sharing. And we're going to cross our fingers. No issues with conversion tonight because I like the idea of sleep. And so we'll have this recording available tomorrow for everyone. Thank you, guys. Have an amazing evening. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Valerie.
You're welcome.